All right, y'all. Today, I'm going to let y'all in on a little bit of who I am. As you can see, today we're going to be talking about the introverted man. That's me. Hi, my name is Adam, and I'm an introvert. So let's jump right into it. Here's the thing about me, right? And most introverted people, but today we're just talking about, introvert is an introvert. So it doesn't really matter whether it's a man or a woman. But I'm only speaking from a man's point of view, from my point of view, and from who I am and what works for me and what doesn't. So here's the thing. I like people, but I don't like people. I always say I have a love for people, but I don't really care for people, right? And what I mean by that is that I have love for everybody. I want to see everybody win. I want to see everybody do good. I want to see everybody be themselves, right? But sometimes it's just too much for me. You know what I'm saying? The small talk, the trying to make conversation and different stuff like that, right? That's what I mean by not liking people. And then some of the things, just some things that people do, you know what I mean? It's just, it irks me. You feel me? So, like I say, this right here is not shade. It's not no subliminal shots at anybody. It's just who I am, the way my mind works, the way I process things, right? So, like I said, I like people. Well, I love people. I have a love for people, but I'm not crazy about people. So let's just start with the first thing, right? I do enjoy going places. I do enjoy having fun. I do enjoy, hooking up with people and stuff like that. I just can't do too much of it. Like for instance, I'm at work, right? Which means I'm with people all day long. And it's not that I don't care for the people, but it's just too much. You know what I'm saying? It gets to be too much. So when I come home, it's like, man, I need to unwind. I need to unplug, all of that, recharge and all of that stuff like that. So that's one of the key things for an introvert. We need to have that time to unplug and recharge and just that time to ourselves. Right now, I can be the life of the party. You know what I'm saying? I can have as much fun as everybody else have. I can do, just all of that. It's not even the activities. It's just the amount of activities, right? So it's like some people, they just talk, and then they just keep going. And then I can go too now, but it just gets to be too much. And I know I've said that a few times, but I can say it 100 times because that's really what it boils down to. So, okay, let's say I'm out and I meet somebody. I talk to them. There's only so much you can talk about in general, even whether it's with a person you've been knowing or whether it's a person you just met. There's only so much you can talk about. Now, this is on different levels, obviously. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're single and dating and meeting people and stuff like that, naturally you want to know who they are and all of the stuff about them, and you want them to know the same about you, right? So you have to have these conversations. But for me, they just have to be broken up. I can't just go on and on and on about the same thing, which is why most time I don't talk or discuss or have an opinion on religion, politics, stuff like that. For one, I'm not well versed in politics. I've never been, and at the risk of sounding ignorant, I just don't do politics. I've never been a fan of politics, and I know it's not just about being a fan, but you should want to know what's going on in your city and in your country and all of those different things like that, that's eventually going to affect you on some level or another. But I just never got into, not even in school, I didn't care for politics. I have people that I know, my brother being one, he could tell you everything about everybody, and that goes for politics and sports and everything else like that. I have a bunch of friends or people that I know that are into those type of things, but they just never been my niche. They never been my thing, you know. And again, like I say, I don't mean to sound ignorant, because that can come across ignorant, but it's just not my thing, you know. So those type of things, and then people debate religion and who this is and who that is, and where the Bible come from and who wrote the Bible. I have gotten that deep into it at times, but for my own personal stuff, for my own personal reasons. But I don't like to argue that, because if there's something that I'm pretty well versed in, then we can talk about that. Not a whole lot, but we can go there, right? And if it's something I'm passionate about, then I can go on and on and on about it. But at the same time, enough is enough for anything. And that's to the introverted side, right? And so what people don't understand about introverts is that we're not dumb, we're not gullible, we're not easy to pull a wool over, because some of us, we constantly, well, me, I'm gonna speak for me. I'm constantly thinking. I'm constantly in my head. I've said that before. I live in my head, right? So I'm constantly thinking. I'm constantly breaking stuff down. I'm constantly basically being a private detective, if you want to put it like that, right? So just because I don't say anything about it, don't mean I didn't see it. Just because I don't say anything about it, don't mean I didn't hear it. Because I hear and I see pretty much everything. Now, there are some things that will go over my head. And that's that. I mean, I'm human at the end of the day. But just saying, don't think because I didn't talk about it or make a big deal about it, that it wasn't that, or it wasn't, or I didn't see, or I didn't hear, or I didn't know what was going on. But to get into the so-called hermit side of it, because I can't think of the word that I'm trying to think of, where we lock ourselves up, or we like to be by ourselves, or you know what I'm saying, like that. It's not personal. That's the biggest thing, you know, to know about that. It's really not personal. Like I said, it's like, take my wife, for instance. I love her to death. She is my world, right? But there are times where I'll sit there and won't say a word or two to her. Now, she has gotten used to it, and she understands to some extent. And it's not always fair to her, but I need that time. I need that downtime. I need that quiet time. I need that. So it's like an empty space. I need that, you know what I mean, as a person. Or if I just keep going and going and going, I'm going to eventually get overwhelmed mentally. And we know that we're grown now, and we know how to deal with certain things and all of that type of stuff, which is understandable. But whatever it is about that, I just need that time. And that old saying, be careful what you ask for. A lot of things I might ask God for or ask for, and then when it starts to happen, like recently, well, let's start here. I moved to Georgia, and I used to live in California for the same reason. But I moved to Georgia to do more with my singing, and you know, maybe try to hook up with a band, maybe do some stage play, stuff like that, and whatnot. Now all of that takes networking, which is one of the hardest parts of that for me. Singing is nothing. Give me a mic, give me some music, and I'm down, right? But it's just the networking part. You have to go here and go there and meet this person, meet that person, and that's the part where it gets to be overwhelming for me, right? And then naturally, sometimes the more you do, the more you'll have issues, like the more, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. But that's the hard part for me, right? Is the networking part. And back to what I was saying, you ask for certain things, and then when you start to get them, you get overwhelmed. Like lately, I've been doing some stuff, and I've been having different people calling me to do some gigs and different stuff like that outside of, I'm usually doing my church choir, and then my men's choir at church, and then I'm usually doing my primary band, First Priority. That's the band that I sing with. But now I'm starting to have people that I've worked with before to call me and ask me to come and do some stuff with them, right? And so that means more rehearsals and more gigs and more time out of the house and different type of stuff like that. And for the average person in my position, it would be good, because that's what you want, right? And even me, I always say that's what I want. I want to be not super busy, but more busy doing my craft, doing what I enjoy doing. I have a passion for music. I have a passion for singing and performing and different stuff like that. So I really want to do that. But then everything that goes along with it, it can be overwhelming sometimes, right? Because now I got 3 rehearsals a week. Then I got busy Saturdays, busy Sundays, and it's right back to work on Monday, right? And so it's like, it's just a lot. And I've said that over and over again, but it just becomes a lot, right? And then as far as with friends and family, like, and I hate to say this, but it's the truth, right? I don't always want to talk to you. I love you. I love you to death. God knows I do. But and it's not just you. It's just in general. I don't want to talk. I don't feel like talking. It's a lot, And I'm trying to stop saying that it's a lot, but it's a lot, right? So there are times where, because here's the thing. I know if you're more like me, you're going to text me, and we might go a couple of texts, a few texts each, and then that's going to be the end of the conversation, right? That's what's up. But if you call me and you're one of them people that you can go on and on and on, it's going to be at least 30 minutes to an hour on the phone because we haven't talked in a while because of who I am. And I know that's wrong. I hope it doesn't make me less of a friend, but I just can't do it like the average person do, if that makes sense, right? So I don't always talk to people all the time, and as much as I love my brother, but he knows because he grew up with me, but as much as I love him, we'll text every now and then. We'll talk on the phone, and it's not for long, but we'll text every so often, you know what I'm saying? And then I'll see him when I go home, or if he's out this way, or whatever the situation is. But not saying that it's cool, but he understands, right? Because he's known me all of my life. Right? And when I was a kid, every time we had holidays, because most time we spent holidays at my mother's house, my mother's mother. We spent like Christmas and all of that over there at her house. And obviously we would make our rounds to our other grandmother and our other aunts and different places that we used to go. But anyway, every time that we would have a big gathering or a major gathering like that, I'd always, for some reason, get sick. And now I know what it is. It was probably a defense mechanism, because it was just too many people there for me. So I'd always end up in the room. I would just tell my mother that I didn't feel good, or my grandmother, and they would just allow me to go in the room by myself, and I just felt peaceful and comfortable back there, right? While everybody else was doing their things. Now, did I enjoy those times a year? Of course I did, because I got to see all of my cousins and aunties and uncles, or people that I hadn't seen in a while, or just everybody together, you know what I mean? And just having fun. But then it would get to be a little bit too much, which would be overwhelming, and then I'd have to go off to the side, right? So saying all of that to say, it's not personal. It's something that I've been dealing with my whole life. And again, it's not personal to where I just don't want to talk to you. I just don't want to be bothered with you. I just don't want to call you. I just don't want to, you know what I'm saying? Just deal with you. It's not even that. Now, some people, yeah, I mean, but we all have those people, you know what I mean? Some people you just don't, it just is what it is. As long as I know you good, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like I was saying earlier, I was talking about my relationship with my wife and how she understands, but also how it's not always fair to her, but she pretty much knows, she pretty much can gauge when that's going to come on, right? And so she'll give me that space that I need, or she'll kind of back up off of me, or just go in the room or do her own thing until, you know, she feels like it's okay, you know what I'm saying? Because most people in that position would feel some kind of way, and rightfully so. Like, you don't want to be bothered, you know. And I've been in situations like that where the person just thought that everything was about them, you know what I'm saying? Whatever I'm going through is not about you. It's not about, it's about what I'm going through, and that's not an excuse, but it's just about what I'm going through, and I promise you it has nothing to do with that. But anyway, that's pretty much the life and the mental side of an introvert, right? We enjoy people, we love people, we enjoy being out sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Because I like to go places sometimes, but I just can't do too much of it. I like to talk to people sometimes, but I just can't do too much of it. You know what I'm saying? And it's never personal. And then there are obviously different personalities, right? And some people can be overbearing and not even trying to be, but that's just who they are. That's their personality, right? Like some people are just loud and common, and some people are just, all they want to do is talk. Some people, all they want to do is play. Some people, all they want to do is whatever their mind tell them to do. And I'm not always in the mood for that. You know what I'm saying? And I keep saying me, or I'm not in the mood, because I'm talking about introverts, but I can only speak from my point of view, or from the way I am as it pertains to that, right? Because I feel like I am an introvert. I feel like I could also have as much fun as you could have. I could also talk as much as you can talk. I can also be as loud as you can be. I could be as common as you could be, all of that. But I choose not to, because after a certain amount of that, all of that, it just gets to be too much. It gets to be overwhelming. And then my mind gets crowded up. Like, you know, that's the hardest part. It's like, it's like when I was a chef, right? Or when I did mechanic work. I've done a bunch of everything. But whether it was the time I was a chef or a mechanic or even now as a trainer, right? If my area or if my situation is crowded, so to speak, then my mind is just crowded, if that makes sense, right? And let's even use singing. If I'm singing and I'm singing with a corded mic and the cord is all twisted all around everywhere and it's under my feet and I'm thrown off. And I know that don't make sense, but that's the way my mind works, right? And back to when I was a chef, whenever the kitchen is busy, everybody knows that. But whenever I was a chef, whenever I had to, I would go and prepare, make sure I had all of my stuff ready. I would prep. And then whenever I got ready for service, everything had to be just so. Now, again, the kitchen is busy. Shit get thrown around. It get out of hand sometimes because that's just the nature of it. But I had this one sous chef that gave me this trick that he used, and it was the best thing in the world for me. You know what I'm saying? He would get a big pot, and all of his dirty stuff, all of his dirty like pans and skillets and all of that he would use, he would just throw everything in that. A lot of my counterparts on the other end of the line, they had shit. They would have shit everywhere, and I was trying to understand or figure out how does that work for you. And most people don't even care. They just it works. They know it's busy. They know it's gonna be messy. They know it's gonna be this. But here I am. And I'm keeping up now. Don't get it twisted. I'm keeping up. But my station has got to be, to some degree, in order, if that makes sense. And so using that to say, that's pretty much the way my mind works, right? And that can go towards being friends with somebody, talking to somebody, having conversation with people, interacting with people. All of that is the same, because now if your personality is overpowering, or you too loud, or you too, and don't get me wrong, I love I love me some hood folks. I ain't gonna lie. I love me some hood folks, or ghetto folks, how they say, right? And I hope I ain't stepping on nobody's toes, but I love that. I just love that, right? But if you too much, I gotta back up off of you, because I can't take too much of that. I can take it. I love it. But then you become overbearing, and then it's just too much. And that's the way I liken that to, you know, the kitchen. Or if I'm a mechanic and I got tools all over the place, my mind just crowded. You know what I'm saying? Same with people. If your personality is too overbearing for me, then my mind is all over the place, and I can't really be comfortable or concentrate, or, you know, not that I go crazy, but I want to just say, you know what, that's enough. Excuse me. But it's just, that's the way that is with that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure it's a lot of other people out there that's that way. You know what I'm saying? Because some people can be real nice people. They can be really good friends. They can be really good family. They can be all of that. But they can just be a little overbearing. And it's not that they're rude or ignorant or just always loud or just always on the opposite page that you're on. It's not always that. It's just to put it in a one phrase, enough is enough. I mean, and sometimes too much is too much. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. But anyway, the main things I can say about an introvert from me to you or from me to whoever's listening, don't take it personal. It's never personal. It's really never personal. It's all of the things that we have to deal with in our minds. You know what I'm saying? And most introvert, well, I can't speak for most. Myself being an introvert, I'm also an overthinker. So my mind never stops. It never rests. It's never just chilling or resting. You know what I'm saying? I'm always thinking. I'm always analyzing. I'm always... I could have had a conversation with you 2 weeks ago. And I'm still analyzing. Did I step on that person's toes? I didn't mean... I hope they didn't take it that way because I didn't mean it that way. Or did they... was they trying to be shady? You know what I'm saying? And think I didn't catch that. And it's not just with that. That's just an example because we're always thinking about it, everything. I could have done better with this, or could I have done this a different way, or how does this work? How does that work? What's my next move? It's just constant. It's constant. And because I don't drink or smoke or self-medicate or whatever the case may be, it's just me and my regular, straight, everyday mind, and I understand why people drink or smoke or self-medicate, because sometimes you need to get away from your own self, from your mind, you know what I'm saying? But we can't do that. I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm constantly thinking and trying to figure out and trying to not step on nobody's toes and try to not say nothing the wrong way. But sometimes if you come for me, and as nice as you might think I am, you're going to feel some kind of way when I get finished. And it's not something that I'm trying to do, but hey, if you bring that side out, that's the side you're going to get. And it could be nice, it could be good, it could be cool, or it can go the other way. Now that's on you. That's however you want to do it, that's how we gonna respond. Because at the end of the day, even though I'm a introvert and an overthinker, I'm also a Libra. So you know how that go. That's them scales, right? We can do it how you want to do it, but long as the scales balance. If they unbalanced, we're gonna have to fix them, and that means however we gotta fix it, right? And that's just the bottom line to that, right? So, like I said, those are some of the things that introverts go through, and that I wanted to try to shine a light on. You know what I'm saying? Because some people feel like he don't ever want to be bothered. He don't like to go nowhere. He don't like to do nothing. Why he don't want to hang out with us? You know what I'm saying? It's not that. It's just that I need that downtime. I'm not lazy by a long shot. Trust me when I tell you that. But I got to have that time to just unwind and do a whole lot more of my overthinking. You feel what I'm saying? But at the same time, I got to have that time. Like I say, even with my wife, it's not that I don't want her around me. It's just that let's just sit here and don't talk. You know what I'm saying? Because some people are talkers and some people are not. I can be. I promise you I can be. You'd be surprised. But then you would also be surprised of the other end of the spectrum on that. Because then sometimes I won't say a word the whole day or the whole night. And then you might feel some kind of way because you feel like, what he mad about? What's on his mind? Why he acting like that with me? You know what I'm saying? But that's just the reality of it. That's just the way it is. Most people that see me in the street or see me at work or see me on different levels, they would never know because I don't project that, right? because my wife will say, sometimes she'll ask me how my day was, and I'll tell her, man, babe, them people, they just talk all day long. They loud, they talk. You know what I'm saying? And again, it's not personal, and it ain't no shade, it ain't no subliminal shots, but I'll tell her that. And then she'll say, well, don't them people know you by now? They don't know that you ain't into that? Well, they don't know that because I don't show them that side, right? Because I have to be who I am at work. It's not that I'm trying to be, it's not that I'm trying to be two-faced or different at work than I am at home, or different at, but you know, you have to be professional. You have to engage with people. You have to be that person, right? But at home, it's not that I'm not being myself when I'm at work, because I am. That's another side of me, right? That's another side of who I am. But then when I get home and I've had one of those days, I just want to come home and just be quiet. I need just some peace, some quiet. If that makes sense. And to a lot of people it won't, because if you've never been there, you can't understand, right? But if you're that type of person, you know exactly what I'm saying. And again, it has nothing to do with hating on people. It has nothing to do with not wanting to be bothered with people. It has nothing to do with acting funny or none of that. It's just we have to have that time to ourselves to kind of recalibrate, kind of get back to being able to function without being full of anxiety and without being, that's the main word, the anxiety, because when it gets to be overwhelming and too much, that's when the anxiety kicks in, and that's never good. Because now I'm full of anxiety. I might step on your toes, not even trying to. Or you might say something to me, and I might snap you up in a good way or in a nice way, but that's still not good, because now I'm not even coming from a good place. I'm just coming from a bundle of anxiety and a bundle of nerves and nervousness and mental stress and all of that kind of stuff, right? That's what that causes. So I'm sure I left out a lot. Maybe I'll do a part 2, maybe not. But once I go back and look at this video and see if I covered most of what I wanted to cover, I'll probably let it go the way it is. But I know it's pretty long right now, and I don't like to make excessively long videos, because ain't nobody gonna sit there and listen to you listen to you just talk and ramble for 30 or 40 minutes, you know. So I feel that, and that's why I don't want to do that. But anyway, yeah, that's the life of a introvert and an overthinker and a Libra. Pretty much, you know what I mean? So don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. That way you can be notified every time I upload a video. And we'll see you in the next one. Y'all be easy. Peace.